Howdy everyone, it is me doing this time because we have a very sick damnation, so send your well wishes and greeting cards. So it's Crow's Nest No Quarter episode 21 and it's entitled VXP Makes Me Sick. We've got the usual people. If you want to come and join us, I'm just making this shit up, I don't know what to say. If you want to come and join us, the link's been posted a few times, so we have the normal people, so we have Ross Crow.
Good evening.
We have Toxic.
G'day everyone, how we doing?
We have Shane.
Hello, peoples.
We have poor sick Damnation.
Hello.
And we have me. So howdy everyone. So we don't have a lot of topics, I guess, apart from VXP. I thought we could probably just go over the raid quickly, and also since there was no show because someone was so slack during the week, if there's anything there we want to talk about. So take it away.
Well, I don't know. I had 4 bat rays myself to VXP. Everybody was asking how many runs for their ships and everything it took to get through there. Myself, it was about 7 runs, but I never fully repaired my ships. I did 1 coin on each and was getting like 32,000 a run. And I know on the full health fleet, I only got like 60,000 a run. So is it really worth it to pay that much for the repairs to fully repair your fleet just to get half as much more? You know what I mean? So that's how I got mine through. It costed me about 28 coin to rank all 4 of my ships within 1 Salty Dog crew.
Yeah, I got the razor tails. I've got 4 of them, and they are currently at I think 54%, and I've only got one rocket, and the kicks one has got 1 thud on it, so I've got nothing, no engine, I've got no parts except for that on it. And I did 3 runs to get 54%. I may get 1 more run in, but I'm not sure how the repairing goes. Not spending any coin on that, it's ridiculous. Not spending 5 coins per boat just to go out and die again. But if you got the research on, if you got that to 30, it's down to what's it, 2 hours and 29 minutes and something per boat. If you got 4 boats, that's that's too much for me to spend on ranking. So I'd rather not have a fully ranked hull than spend money on that. But yeah, that's my experience with the VXP weekend. It's pretty boring. It's a long time to do nothing in between, or do some TLCs or whatnot, or go out in the sun and catch some vitamin D. I don't know, whatever you feel like doing, but yeah, it's pretty boring.
I didn't hit my first target until late last night because I was sick, but I've hit like 3 targets so far, and I'm at 60%. I'm hoping 1 more target will do it. Knowing my luck, I doubt it though. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not happy with them. Like, I have weapons across 4 out of the 5 holes that I'm ranking, and like I hardly killed shit while I'm in there. So I'm a little dejected.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with the whole thing. The other part that I was curious about was when everybody has done their ranking. So I went out and just, I didn't want to, I had a quick look at the targets and realized that there wasn't a lot I could do damage wise. So I just did triple salty and grease monkey and got it done. I've got 4 razors, but then, of course, as always happens, I see that people with bat rays, when they had the torpedoes in the targets when they first came out, that people were getting all their VXP for free because you're getting VXP from torpedoes. So yet again, we have targets that are released that are broken. And yeah, it's just, I know we say the same things over and over and over, but there's just no quality control. And, you know, I stupidly or unstupidly spent 40 coin doing it. That's my choice. You know, I just thought I'd get it done. But then, you know, you read that afterwards and it's like, well, you know, why should I even bother? So
my advice to you would be put in a ticket, because I have read some stuff about people put in tickets about it and they did get some coins because of it. So
yeah, that's one way of handling it, but that's, to me, not the way to handle it, because, you know, the Kixeye should be just admitting flat out that these targets are broken from the start. So putting a ticket in after the fact doesn't fix a broken target from the start, that then we go, oh, we'll change it because people are doing it for free. It's just like, just get it right from the start. Like, that's not too much to ask, in my opinion. You know, they're expecting us to pay money to do for a product or for time, you know, and that's my choice. It is my choice. But when you find out it's broken, it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. And then you think, well, you know what? Screw this. How many times am I going to get played for a sucker? So there you go. It's a downer, but that's what it is.
7 years worth. 7 years worth. That's how many times you played for a sucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Actually, that's not true, because the first 3 years I didn't pay anything. So it's only 4 years I've made a sucker.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, Russ. Go for it.
But I was thinking, you know, I'm one of those that I did go out and I threw the grease monkey on, and in the dock, and then the triple, or the, you know, salty on the crew and on the map, and so I could get it done fast and just yeah, I knew how painful it was. I saw how, you know, the reports here, and I could figure it out beforehand. I knew it was, you know, it was going to cost quite a few coins, so I just planned on it that way, and then I, you know, wasn't shocked when it was exactly how I thought. And then but I noticed huge discrepancies in on how the points were acting comparatively to the last VXP targets. I mean, I don't have anything other than that to go by, but my fleet was, I have one hull that's full weapons, one that has a thud. They're getting the same rank. And then I had another one with a couple specials on it, and not all the weapons, but it had a few specials, and it picked up. I had to put it in like 2 or 3 more targets than the whole fleet. No, 2. I'm sorry. Clearly, it was 2 extra targets than the rest of the fleet. Now that's kind of a hokey. I mean, I don't know how to explain that other than hokey.
I know I have one hull that's ranking at a different rate than the other ones, but here's a funny story for everybody. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was going through and I was throwing 2 weapons and a gale. That's how I've been kind of doing all my hulls, you know, 2 weapons and a gale at first, or 2 weapons, 2 gales, and then going back and then filling them all back in as the time permitted. Well, 5 o'clock in the morning, let me tell you, insurrection launchers look a whole lot like needler rockets. So I have one hull right now that actually has 2 insurrection rockets or insurrection launches on it instead of 2 needler rockets. So that's a funny story. But yeah, obviously that's ranking way slower than what the other ones do. But other than that, they're like all ranking exactly the same across the board. Kind of weird.
And then I was noticing things, you know, in the targets. I was trying to figure out. Did you guys see the sub? Or you know, there's a sub. If you went up the far left side and you creeped up, and you could get the sub to start to come out. And I was trying to test the cavitation on the razor tail, and what I was seeing is my old eyes don't really see this little bar graph. They don't just cavitate the second they enter that ring, like other type fields have worked in the past. It's on a timer type thing. They don't.
Well, they stated that this Reaper has a anti-cavitation ring ability to it. They did state that. The one thing I had a problem with that Reaper, I went in there and sat for 4 minutes, and that motherfucker never popped up. What kind of batteries on that son of a bitch?
No, I got it to pop up, but I can't kill it. Is what I was going to add to it. I mean, wow. As
far as their battery timer, when they're supposed to pop up, they start the battle popped up out of the water like they're supposed to, but I've never seen them pop back up out of the water. I mean, a Reaper isn't a fangtooth or a ghost crawler. It's supposed to have a battery time and come back up. I mean, if it's so hard to kill when it's submerged, when's it supposed to pop up?
Yeah, that's a good point.
How many razor tails hulls are you taking in?
5.
Well, I'm asking Shane.
Oh,
Me, I'm using bat rays.
Okay.
And I want them to pop up so I can kill them.
Gotcha.
I don't never see them pop up. I mean, I wished I had some batteries on my subs that could apply deck weapons to last that long underwater. I mean, now it applies deck weapons. You know, that was the whole kind of thing about it. You could take that into somebody's base and hit that dude. You know, it shouldn't stay underwater for that long. You know? So, I mean, they're breaking their own rules about the fundamentals of the game that they don't even think about or know about. It's like, what are y'all doing? I mean, just because you're kickside, you can make it stay under there however fucking long you want to? Or indefinitely? That's not how that shit works in the game. Quit breaking your own damn rules.
I wonder if that's the opposite to the torpedo, because the razor tail pops the torpedo up, pops the subs up so you can shoot them and kill them, but they can't do anything about the torpedo. And I wonder if that's the bat rays thing that you can't pop the subs up, but you can kill the torpedo. So you got to take damage somewhere, either from the sub or the torpedo. That's what I'm thinking.
You're in the same boat with that. Well, I guess because you can pop it up out of the water, but how long is it going to take you to pop it up out of the water, and then your explosives don't hit underwater? You know what I mean?
That's one thing. Yeah.
So what this tells me is razor tails aren't going to be able to kill the torpedoes, and bat rays aren't going to be able to kill the Reapers. So we're right back to where we actually do need 2 hulls to be able to do all the targets.
Of course.
Yeah,
I think that's a given. They wouldn't have offered the second hull. That was, yeah.
But just on the Reapers, why do you need to? You don't need to surface them, Shane.
So I can kill them better. Apparently, they've got 95% defense underwater like that. I can only hurt them 5% of what my hull can do. They're supposed to come up out of the water so I can take them out, you know. And I'm supposed to be able to kite. I've got the longer range hull. I'm supposed to be able to kite things in here. Everything's got the same range as I do. When does a freaking hull with rockets be able to reach 94, 98 range, whatever it is? You know, I mean, they keep breaking their own freaking rules. I mean, unless they're using scatter guns, then that breaks another rule. Ain't this concussive and corrosive damage?
Wait. We do have rockets in the game that we can use that go out to like 112 range.
On Conqueror hulls.
On Inferno Dragons.
On Inferno Dragons can do what?
Well, I'm pretty sure the range on them with the rockets.
That's a siege hull, isn't it? Ain't this a skirmish event?
But that doesn't change the fact that there do exist rockets in the game that have a really long range.
But we're not allowed to use them on these. Y'all can't get 98 range with your razor tails.
No, and this is where you and I differ, because I always know that the game is going to do shit that I can't do. That's the nature of the video games like this. That's
well, they need to watch
the way they're supposed to run.
Well, they need to pay attention to what holes they're doing, because I mean, in essence, from a player's point of view, they're sitting there hacking. because they could take whatever hull they want and make it do with whatever weapon they want, however long range they want. And I mean, that's where I draw the line. If that right there is a hunter out there, that thing should be using corrosive weapons. Am I wrong? Don't those use scattergun?
Well,
No.
I'm a middle of the board.
Hunters have never used corrosive weapons. Hunters use depth charges.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of a middle of the board on this one here. You know, in all honesty, I kind of expect to be outgunned, outclassed, and I don't really. But as far as a sub that we know the class, we know it does need to surface at some point. That would be my basic line of you know what I'm saying. So that's where I sit in the whole thing. And so I think I'm going to be outgunned, maybe outranged, and outthing on rockets, on pretty much whatever, as long as it's just not so a game ending or, you know, just death.
I mean, I got the long
Okay.
range weapon and hull. Shouldn't I be able to kite these targets? I mean, that's skill, right?
Oh, you should. I think I'm not. I'm just saying.
I'm just also
I have
saying
problems in this target. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting them rockets or their explosive rockets to be having the same range as my Gatling guns. I wasn't expecting that shit at all. You know, I mean, 88 to 93, I could buy that, but I mean, they shoot right before I get to them, and it's like, what the fuck? How'd you get that?
I hope there's no little kids watching this evening.
Well,
This is no quarter.
but you know, so yeah, I get what you're saying. I just, yeah, I don't.
I mean, I just think they're breaking their own rules, and we're just all getting ready to get a lot of damage from these cycles.
Well, I mean, but we kind of knew that because there's no. If you notice the way they word this whole cycle exactly, they did not say this is the skill hull and this is the auto hull. What they said was they are both auto hulls that you can mitigate some damage if you drive them a little bit.
Okay,
So
that's any hull in the game.
That should have told you right off the bat that you were going to be taking damage.
Okay, well, I mean, their concept of that is stupid because that's with any ship in the game. Okay, you could put together anything in this game. If you don't drive it, you're going to take a certain amount of damage. If you do drive it, you're going to take less damage. So you're telling me that's the difference between a skill hull and an auto hull is whether you drive the damn thing or not?
There is no skill hull and there is no auto hull. That's what's not getting through. That's what's not getting through. They have never once said that this is the skill hull and this is the auto hull. They said they are both auto hulls that you can minimize your damage a little bit if you drive.
Well,
there's no skill hull in this cycle.
I mean, they're telling us something we've known for years. If you drive your ships, you're going to take less damage. That's just a straight fact of the game. Why make that any kind of circumstance in these two hulls being offered this time around? I mean, that's the part that don't make no sense to me, too.
I'm having, my personal part is, I sure am. I'm having difficulties with figuring out the right build for being that I was not expecting these torpedo slowdowns. I'm a razor tail owner, and so I've been trying to adjust for speed because they slow you down quite a bit. Even I took a single ship out that had the right specials, you know, just to see, because the whole fleet slows down to the slowest ship. In fact, so if you so much so if you were to put the hull with a defender class and throw it into the target, it itself would not move. It's pretty funny. And so it's interesting as far as what you put on each hull. I'm finding out, you know, it didn't. If I put a special on the hull that got hit with a torpedo, it did not help the rest of the fleet.
Oh, let me ask you guys a question. I might have misunderstood this. But didn't they say one of the things they really hated, like about the whole Darkwing CIC, was the way it like had to slow down your fleet to match it with other ships? And did I imagine that, or did they actually say that?
I'm pretty sure they said that.
So we come off of that and respond to that by having that ability actually built into a hull. I mean, it's like, oh, we hate this, so now we're going to double down on it. You know, that's kind of
No, they only hated the Darkwing part. So they only hated having to come up with a CIC to do that. So you've just, it's semantics.
They hated giving me the option.
I guess the other thing too with these targets is that these are kind of only an indication of what we're going to be seeing. So while we can, draw conclusions and that sort of thing, we're still not actually going to know, until that first raid when we see all the different targets and how the tiers work and all that sort of thing as well. So
yeah,
we kind of know a bit, but
it definitely does seem like a hybrid target. Like, it seems like the way they had been explaining it before, it was going to be two separate targets, but now it seems like they've thrown all the mechanics into one target for VXP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, and I can see how they would do like a workaround maybe for during raid. Well, if you have Razor Tail, you can hit like 2 of this target and then that'll give you a set bonus. Or if you have Bat Rage, you can hit 2 of this target and that'll give you a set bonus. But then what happens when we get to TLCs? And you got to combine all the shit.
Yeah, and that's where the challenge is going to be.
I don't know. I want to be optimistic, but I'm having a really hard time right now.
Yeah, it's funny because it's only last week I was saying, I'm excited for this new new cycle, and we get to see some new targets, and it'll be interesting to work out the puzzle, and la 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 la. And then I go, you know what? I'm not so interested anymore. So, but that's just me. So that's kind of covers VXP, or have you got more toxic?
No, just I'm just as annoyed as everybody else, but we do need to say that this is not the target. I wouldn't expect this would just be something that they threw together, so that we have an idea of what we can sort of expect. I would hope it would not be as difficult as this, with that much damage and whatnot. Plus, they're going to be 2 targets, not just 1. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But it doesn't, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look good at the minute.
Yeah.
I'd probably have more fun slamming my willy in the screen door over and over than what I've had hitting these fucking targets this weekend.
He says, hoping that there's no kids watching.
Well, that's why I said willy.
Okay.
Well,
that makes it PG.
Candy Apple in comms in chat did say that they have 5 razor tails, and they did get the Reaper to pop up quickly, and I did get it to pop up in about 3 to 4 seconds. I was thinking maybe that's exaggerated, but it did quickly with the 5, and then they have 5 outfitted with rockets, and it took a while, and they're saying too long to kill. That's why I was seeing I was hitting it with 1 and 2 hulls, and I wasn't seeing damage to it, and so that's why I was not.
But what about? I mean, I have got 4 hulls with 1 weapon on it, and nothing else. There's no way that I'm going to have 4 hulls fully equipped and armored and VXP'd by the first raid. There's no way. So what you're basically saying, even if I've got the 4 hulls that aren't fully built, I'm not going to have the ability to pop the subs up quick enough so that I don't take minimum damage. So what are they going to do about that? About people like that?
They'll tell you to go hit A sets and not S sets.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess.
I mean, to make the chances better before it pops up, I guess running that hydrodynamic shell so you can hit it underwater, at least.
Yeah, but that
I mean,
means
that
that
would be an only
Yeah,
edge that I could think of that would help you out in that respect. I mean, not that that would be the thing to do, but just something, you know, at least there. I mean, that's one thing that you could do to try to help yourself out, damaging it before you ever got it to pop up. Still,
yeah, but see, then I'm in the same position as you, where I'm going to shoot at things that I've got 95%.
well, you get 87% damage down there, though. That 95% deflection thing, that's at weapons that can't even hit underwater. It'll still hit them at 5%. You see what I'm saying? Like other subs, like if you take cannons or launchers after some subs that can hit underwater, you can see them, but you're not going to hit them at all. The Reaper has a 5% that it will get hit by if it's underwater like that, because they don't never completely submerge.
Right.
But you're doing 87% damage underwater. You'll be doing 87% damage explosive underwater.
But here again, you're assuming that their Reapers follow our Reapers rules.
That's the only thing I got to go by. That's how Reapers were explained to us that they worked.
Yeah, that's how our Reapers work. We don't know how their Reapers work. They don't share that information with us.
Now, if they got 100% underwater, again, they're breaking their own rules. That's a totally submerged sub. And that's not what the Reaper was made as. You know. That's the problems I have with them, when they break their own rules of how things are explained that they work in this game. And then they just change them because they want the upper hand. To me, that makes them the biggest, chickenest, shittest players in the freaking game. You know, I hate cheaters. I hate hackers. And that's what they're doing, is they're playing with the system to make it better for them and harder on us. I can understand upgrading weapons, upgrading and growing into longer range, more damage weapons and everything. But when they use the same stuff we have and change it to be better, that's wrong to me. That's just my opinion on it.
So seeing these targets, are there any different ways now that you're thinking of building your ships? Are you going to still stick with the original plans that you had? And I know I'm really starting to debate the whole armor side of things, and I don't know, I hit a 50 this morning, which I'd only hit the hundreds, not the 50s, and I was thinking I could get away with more concussive damage protection rather than explosive. But then when I was hitting the 50, I noticed that there was a lot of explosives. So I'm kind of in two minds, but the repair times really put me off. So anyone had any thoughts of changing or what you're going to do?
Well, see, and that's a conundrum too, because we've had it in the past before where a lower target would deal different damage ratios than what a higher target did. You know, because like the Buccaneer raid cycle is a great example. If I'm not mistaken, like the 80s targets actually did more radioactive than what it did when you got to the S set. And then when you were doing the S set, you wanted like layered and like almost all ballistic charged armors. But if you went with that setup in the 80s, you would actually take more damage. So there's no like clear progression again.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we've got how many FMs have we got to go before the next ride?
Two more.
Two. Yeah, should be two.
So there might be some armors or whatnot in there. Who knows? I mean, the way they stack the FMs up these days is just it's another thing. It's getting ridiculous.
Well, let's take a little time, because you know it's good that you bring up changing your builds. Because let's take a little bit of time and talk about Hyper 30. Does it work? Does it not work?
I have not seen a noticeable difference on anything myself, but I have not set aside and done just to test, just to see, compared what things had gone on before. And I just haven't had the, well, I have had the time. I just have not taken the time to do that. I'm not seeing much. I'm not seeing much of a change.
From what I'm hearing around it, and from other individuals around, it's not working. Even though they say it is, it's still not working. The damage reduction part of it's still not working.
The splash damage part.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
That's
you're getting the
that
speed
everybody's
and the
worried about.
evade. Yeah, you're getting the speed and the evade, just not the splash.
Yeah. From what I hear around posts and everything.
Yeah, I find that a fairly hard special to, just on the whole, the way that splash works. It's like, to me, and you know, I'm not a programmer or anything, but to get something to work properly that would reduce that splash properly, I find a bit, you know, hard to work out. So I'm not surprised that, you know, and it's such a thing that you can't measure, you know, finally, if that makes sense. You're only going, you know, somewhat objectively. It's like, oh yeah, I think I took a little bit less splash damage, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Well,
I mean,
in my
take it off a hull.
at one point in time, and I know Ross for sure can back me up on this. At one point in time, you could definitely tell a difference on a hull whether you had Ion Thruster 4 on it or not, as far as the splash damage.
Yes.
So obviously, at some point, they had it working correctly.
Yes.
And in the case of Ion 4, honestly, it might have been working over correctly. But then it went from that to now apparently splash damage reduction is not working at all. So, oh hey Neil, what's going on, man?
But yeah, I would agree. Hey.
We'll give Neil a minute to get his shit all set up.
My shit's all set up.
Oh, there you go.
Good evening.
It's all in a line.
Yeah.
Hey, Neil.
So go ahead and put your 2 cents worth in, Neil.
I just got in. I'm not even sure what topic you guys are talking about. But I just got back on the computer. But if it's a ranking thing, I'm really pissed because my ships are ranking so damn slow.
That's what. Well, it is ranking. Anything about ranking.
And the other ship, the Bat Ray, is having so much luck and finding these little glitches. And I sent my ticket in. I don't know what it's worth, but I did. But I ranked on the map targets, URFs. I've been ranking on them. I've got mine up to about 50% using 2-star salties.
Okay, that's good. I did hit a couple of them and found that there's a few that work reasonably well. So depending on what sort of hull you have, so just if you are doing it that way, just obviously look at the target. I guess yeah, you can retreat out of those ones, can't you? So yeah, just have a look at the target as you go in as to which ones are going to potentially do damage and which ones aren't. So
yeah, there was a lot of them. I mean, you can't hit every one of them because
no.
The cannoneers or something like that, you don't hit those. They'll hurt you. The base ones will hurt you.
Yeah. And I guess that's always been the case too, that, you know, some work well for some ships and some don't. So, but if you are doing it that way, just pay attention. So
yeah, I ranked for, I put a 2-star on, ranked for an hour, whatever length the 2-star is, and had like 2 hours worth of damage, and came up with almost 10,000 points. So I thought that's pretty good, and I only got 2 hours of damage.
That's not too bad. Very good. I was saying, so we were just talking about the Hyper 30 and whether the splash works as well, and Candy Apple in chat saying that it's not working. Did the same, took it off one hole to test and got the same damage as all the rest. So it looks like that's not really going to, well, unless they get it fixed for these targets, which is, I guess, a chance you want to take or a chance you don't want to take. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
Very good. So that's done the VXP. So what other topics do we have? There's been obviously.
Let's talk a little bit about what people are planning on doing to deal with the slowdown, the cryo from the like the proto-nims and stuff.
Well, that's what I was. What did I put to that shit? Shielded circuitry? Is that? Am I saying that right? I had a limited special. I added that. It did. I'm not sure comparatively to what, because that's the only thing I've tried so far. And it makes it so you're not stopped. You know what I mean? You can. I don't know if I would call that acceptable or manageable. It's pretty, but you can get through it with it at least.
I just plan on avoiding them.
See, I'm going to be one of these built to hopefully just to click it from the outside into auto is my full intention, and so I'm going to try to build for that, and so that's what I did. We added shielded circuitry.
Well, the razor that we talked about. The razor we talked about on the last round table, we had that shielded circuitry on there. And I don't have it on mine, not being fully built, but it only has a 74% slow resistant and 74% stun resistant. So it should help.
Yeah, I did do it. I have one built, and it helped. But I don't know if I was. I'm being serious when I'm saying I don't know if it's really going to be great on the old technique that I use on auto, and I think it's going to be ugly if you were to actually watch the target on what's going to happen, possibly.
Is it my imagination, or does a turtle move faster than what these things do?
Right? Yeah, they're slow. They're real slow, and I was kind of hoping that I picked the razor out of speed. Well, geez, they are not a speed demon fleet at all.
So you popped the Reaper up pretty quickly then.
Yeah, I'm running 5 of them, but you can see it's like it takes me forever to get any actual noticeable damage on the damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was thinking that I'm probably going to use explosive 4 to try and cut down that spread a bit. So hopefully that will, sort of focus the damage more in one place. Hopefully.
Well, I know that lockdown rockets has the potential too to, if you put one lockdown rocket on to slow them down so they're not running all over the place.
Yeah, that certainly could be worth trying. Well, enjoy those repairs.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
You're going to say that Proto sure fires a lot of mortars or rockets or whatever it was that shoot. I think it was mortars. And
yeah.
Wasn't able to handle much of that. Even I just got 3 of them partially built, about half built.
I have 5 hulls. They all have 2 Gale 3s on them, and I wasn't able to shoot them all down.
Well, funny that you mentioned the Proto, because I've got 5 Protos, where one had all the weapons on it, I think, and the other ones were just partial, and one hasn't had any weapons. And that was the only fleet of mine that I've ranked a few that went in there and actually got to fire on the enemy. and they were not fully built. They didn't have all the armors on. They don't have all the specials, and they don't have all the guns apart from one. And they're the ones that lasted the longest of all the fleets that I sent in there. And I sent Ifrits, and I sent witch doctors in, and I sent all sorts of stuff in these targets. So that's food for thought.
How much
Yeah.
VXP have you guys been getting for hitting? Like, I just got like almost 75K out of hitting that one.
7,000. One ship, one hit.
Yeah, I think it's averaging about the 7, isn't it, Ross?
Yeah, with the crew.
With a 2-star, yeah.
Yeah.
So 75K is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was getting about 15 because I was getting the same amount no matter what. That I didn't have the same weapons or anything like that, because I was thinking, okay, well, these ones at least we're going to get VXP for doing damage. So I specifically made sure to try and put on as many weapons as I could, and I got the same amount every single hit. So there's some really hinky stuff, but I must admit, Toxic, you brought up an interesting point, because I hadn't really thought of ranking any other ships because I haven't got anything else to rank. But it's interesting to hear, how other ships are going in these targets, given that we don't have you don't have a choice. This is what you're ranking on. So it's interesting that different ships are working.
I was getting 32,000 for 4 ships for a 30-minute repair on each one.
That's
what kind
pretty
of
good.
ship was that?
That's what I said. I mean, I can take the whole fleet in there and get 4 ships, get like 60,000 VXP full health, and I was getting 32 at 30-minute repair on each one. So why fully heal them if I can get like half that for 30 minutes out of each one?
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't get that.
it done a lot quicker.
Yeah, I didn't get any close to that. My three.
But I'm using the silver salty dog though.
Yeah, I used a silver also and a grease monkey.
Yeah, but we're
So that's
comparing
around,
different
that's around
ships.
8,000 VXP per ship.
Yeah.
In that run, I mean, if you want to drop it down to single ships, they're getting about 8,000 a run there.
Okay, yeah, I was hit 7 something. So,
But that's only on 30-minute repair, to where it's about 16,000 at full health.
Yeah.
There's a difference between 3 hours.
oh no, I was doing
30
full
minutes.
health.
Yeah.
My ship was full health.
Okay. I just running 30-minute repair on each one. If I'd have had a grease monkey, it only costed me 14 coin to rank all 4 of my ships.
Yeah, we got one guy that spent 225 coins ranking the skull.
But they keep fully repairing the whole fleet. That's what I'm saying the difference is. You'll get out a lot cheaper if you just did it 30 minutes at a time, whether you coin or not. I mean, if you just do 30 minutes a ship and you're just repairing as you go, 30 minutes on that ship, and then come put the other one on for 30 minutes. In 2 hours, you can go hit the targets every 2 hours, as opposed to getting twice that over 10 hours in one hit. You could do that 5 times within that 10 hours at 31,000 instead of getting 60,000. So what would that be? 30, 60, 120, 150,000 as opposed to 60,000 in that 10-hour time frame is what I'm getting at, whether you're coining it or doing it in time.
Somebody else said they had put 10 minutes on theirs and went in. They only got like 500 VXPs out of it.
So how did he spend that much doing it? I don't understand that.
Well,
Took him
27 coin a pop. It wouldn't take it that long.
Yeah, it took it 9 pops and it was 25 coins a pop. So
On bats?
no, the other one,
Oh, the
Razors.
razors.
Yeah, it's 25 coins just for a blank, even. A shot. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's why the
Android
bat
bat.
was. Everybody had the bats were getting. I don't know if they got in on a glitch or what the deal was, but
I was
Yeah.
actually able to shoot at the things a little bit myself, so I might be getting a little bit more that way. You know what I mean? It's not like they'd instantly kill me. Now, if I drove into the mortar or the ice field, that fleet would be dead. But I'm actually able to shoot at them. You know, it took me like 4 runs to ever kill one battleship in there. I'm only running one weapon on each one. So, I mean, I guess I'm getting a little bit more because I'm actually hitting them with some damage, not just dying.
Yeah.
With
If
the
you got
bat
the
ray.
bat, so you're not taking that stun. If you've got the others, you're getting stunned, and then they just drive up and kill you before you can hardly get a shot off.
I haven't seen the torpedo shoot at me at all, but I would kill them before they ever got me, you know, as far as the torpedo goes. But as far as the ice field goes, I avoid them. I've driven other ships in there and seen what the ice field does to the ships. I've actually ran into one of the ice fields by accident once with one of my last ships, and it killed me, the bat ray. You know, so I try to avoid them. Mine runs 63 miles. I'm running Magnus 3 on mine. I went for speed when I seen how fast these things could go. And I can actually outrun them, even without the wind-up. So I've got plenty of juice to run.
It's going to be the same old tale, no matter.
But I can't outrange them. So, I mean, that's totally fucking moot. I mean, I don't see how come, you know, I'm supposed to be able to kite these suckers. If I drive well enough, you know, I should be able to get out good. But it's just like the old rhinos. They somehow seem to shoot just a little bit further than I do with explosive weapons. And I'm running a freaking Gatling gun. The fuck is up with that? Battleship.
They'll always have the upper hand. You just,
you know, it's
just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So,
well, I mean, at least with my subs, I could sit there and kite stuff out. You know, this is a skirmish raid. It's always, I ain't even fucking going there.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, because we should be able to, you know, with driving and with skill, you should be able to, you know, drop your repairs and all that sort of thing. And then if they've got the same weapons, that makes it pretty hard to do. So I guess probably, you know, until we see these targets for real, we're not really going to know. So it's hard to say. It's been a, you know, been good as with all of these events. You know, it works well for some people. Some people suffer really hard, and then there's the middle road, I guess. So
my biggest advice is take the word skill out of your vocabulary for this raid cycle.
Yeah, drive your ass off.
And replace it with coin.
Pretty much.
Well, replace it with "this has just become acceptable."
Yeah.
Which,
Very good. Well, a few things that has happened during the week that, I don't know, they make up for this, but, you know, there's always one step forward and 2 steps back, it seems. But we've had some build time reductions in some of the stuff, so some of that's been pretty good, pretty handy, I guess.
Yeah, I know I've seen some people saying across their particular builds it was saving them like 2 days on a build.
I've seen my build in particular became a 12-day build.
Okay.
Very impressed with that time. I mean, that's back like nuclear cruiser Mastodon days. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
I can accept that build time. 12 days with weekly tokens. I got to give them that. That is very good, I think. They just need to adjust some of that stuff that they did in there, though. Older tech still taking 3 times as long as newer tech is a problem.
Definitely. I know.
Just that little adjustment. I mean, they did great. We appreciate what they did and everything. Just pay attention to what you're doing. You know, why should something 3 years old take a day and 22 hours to where something that's like brand new take 9 hours? Yeah. I mean, get it straight. That's probably what the littler guy can get. And if that's all he can get up to is the first one, Why is he taxed that much more when you're trying to get him up in the game and build times? You know, I mean, great job on you, thank you, but just pay attention in what you're doing on all of them. You know, get that stuff right, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and this is the first reduction we've had in a fair while. Like it's been a while. So, but it's a good point because you know there's, like you say, there's older specials that are still taking a long time because they sort of get forgotten about, if I can use my words properly. I know my build went up because, as I said, I was starting to look at the charged armor, and I don't know if that's going to be right or not, but you know, it started becoming a 16-day build, and I'm like, well, you know, I don't know whether it's how I'm going to do it and whether it's worth taking the punt or what's going on.
Let me ask you this: why would you use charged armors when you know the charged part isn't going to work?
Because I'm a tight ass and I'm thinking mainly about repair time, and I'm not always convinced that if the ship lasts longer, that you're going to earn, more points per hour or whatever. So I'm just starting to toy around with those ideas and whether it's going to be worth it or not.
Because I mean, I get your philosophy of, well, charged armors cause no extra repair, but at the same point in time, like, well, if you're going to take 3 times more damage though by using them, you're going to pick up that extra repair and the amount of damage you take. You know, I'm just not 100% sure that's the best way to go, or even more so advise other people to go.
I'm not advising anyone. That's why I said I'm starting to try and think about whether it's going to be worth it or not. Whether that extra resistance
time versus defense, which one would be cheaper in the end per target, so to speak.
Yeah. And so I'm just thinking of me and the way that I play. That maybe it is worth it. I don't know, but.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that, I mean, nobody knows how everything in this game works specifically, so we have to do all the testing just to check all the bases, find out which way actually is the best, until they decide to change it, and then we'd have to refit because we figured out how things were working. They was like, well, that's not how it was supposed to be working. Since it worked out better for you, we need to change it. So it was working as intended.
Pretty much situation normal. So. And what about the FM this week? Did anyone think that there was, apart from the fact that it's another crap ton of points that we need to get going?
Before we go into that, I do want to keep on another positive note and say thank you very much for the free hull that you gave everybody that was able to claim one of the hulls. The free unkitted out hull was definitely a boon to a lot of people.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Unfortunately, I saw in comms someone missed out on their free hull because they didn't claim the prize before the raid was over. So that wasn't very smart, but yes, it was a good thing if you got it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that person only has themselves to blame because it was in real big letters at the top of the game.
Yeah, we did say something about that on the last show because I think I called them like shiesty, like a car or used car salesman. Pay attention to exactly what they said. Claim it before the end of the event.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But yeah, I mean, I think it was a great thing because I really actually want to try to come into this raid cycle with at least 4 fully built boats and like a 5th one that is at least half-assed. And because of them giving out that free blank hull, I think I'm actually going to be able to do that. So I personally am very grateful for it.
With all the reductions on times and everything, it's very doable getting them kitted out a lot within now and then. They said you got 2 more weeks of FM. That's another at least 12 days in tokens.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a full haul right there, basically.
And then, I mean, if you got R&D done, of course, refits are always cheaper than build time. So, you know.
All right, sorry. Carry on with your FM stuff, RB.
Wait a minute before you go there. Just
I
another
don't.
positive thing that I think we got going for us right now is being able to communicate with the Kickstarter mods on Discord. I don't know how many of you are doing that, but man, I think it's nice.
That's good thing to bring up. I've had a quick look at it, but I didn't really go fully into it because I couldn't remember my passwords, and it was all a bit of a pain in the ass. But I saw what was going on, and it was like, yeah, well, this is good. This is something that's been needed for a long time. So it's really a good step forward.
I think it's a great thing because I think they're going to get more input from more people, and not just that those same 6 people that they've fallen into the habit of listening to for the past 2 years. You know, the worst 2 years that we've had of the game. But you know, I think it's great. The more input they can get from more people to realize, hey, there's stuff going on beyond what these 6 people want to tell us.
Yeah, there was a 6-hour time today where there were no URFs on the board, and I was able to get on Discord, contact Laredo, and he pinged the design team to let them know that something was going on. Because I never got to talk to him until for about 4 hours into it, but within 2 hours they had it fixed.
Okay, that's good to know. So, and I guess like if there's a healthy community in there of people, it's sort of like a live survey all the time. So you don't need to just have this static survey of your set questions. You're actually going to be interacting with the players as they go along. So hopefully that'll get some ideas going and some good conversations.
Yeah, there's not a bunch of bannering between players, and there's some chatter, but it's all good, positive. Seems to be
that's good.
Chatter.
No, I agree. I wanted to jump in there. It's amazing. For those people that actually don't even qualify, they play for free, non-coiners. It also gives them actually the same access as to someone who spends thousands in the game. They are real-time, live exchange. You can share anything just right there, and I do want to encourage being clear to the point and not nonsense. I posted myself an issue, and then I did discover but the solution. Well, I mean, they saw that they respond immediately to me. So, and in both instances, so at least I get responses immediately through that. And so I suggest to all those people that are not used to the support part of the game, the non-coiners, that now they can have their say other than just the forums. I think the forums has gotten to an atmosphere where it's almost troll-like, where no matter what anyone says, there's you just dwell on the negative sides of whatever statement that is, and you can't make always everyone happy, and we understand that, but let's just try to keep it in a positive note, and I see it as being left in that positive manner, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, I don't see it as I look at it. I mean, I don't see people going on there and just constantly harping about how bad things are, or why they're getting this or why they're not getting that. They're getting on there and making legitimate beefs, and they're responding to them.
Yeah, well, that's
and
good.
on a little bit of a selfish side from me too, it actually really helps my workload, because now I don't have to have people report bugs to me and then have me pass it up. It's like you just go there and directly report it yourself.
Yeah, right on the left side when you get there, there's a place for there's a general chat, there's a suggestion, and there's a bug report. and there's an Admiral Lounge, and I don't know, I'm not in that, but there's bug reports and suggestions. So just go in there, state what you think needs to be done or changed, and get the heck out and wait, because you will get an answer.
And I guess it's also, you know, we've got to help ourselves in this. If we load that full of crap and, you know, kicks our shit and la 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 la, you know, it's not helping us at all. So I guess we've got to try to remember to keep it that way, and we all get aggravated and pissed off and, hey, I got a shard, how exciting. That, you know, we're only going to do ourselves a disservice if you know, if we fill that up with rubbish as well.
And I see some of the biggest comms wars I've ever seen in there making statements and talking, but they're not out of hand like their comms wars. They're just in there trying to either make suggestions or be sociable.
That's good. All right, so moving all along.
Yeah, now you can go to the FM.
Oh, it's just, you know, what people had thought of, you know, the prizes that are in there. Is there anything that really stands out to you? Are we happy about having to get this amount of points each week? That sort of thing.
I saw it coming. I knew it would be, but I mean, I just planned on it. I do think it's a good way for people to catch up in the game, returning players. So for that reason, I'm just all right with it, I guess. I mean, I just plow through. I don't like doing the weekly. I'm not really a PvE fan, but it's just part of the game. And so I try to build a ship that, or a fleet that can do it as fast as possible. And it's just taking more and more time. So it's just taking more and more time out of my game play for the rest of the game is how I'm looking at it.
And you're fishing.
Yeah.
And fishing. No, in all honesty, in fishing.
I'm glad to see there's new armor. I wish it would have been the armor that we were more waiting for, the concussive / corrosive. But hey, at least we got new armor.
Yeah, I don't know what that. Yeah, I saw this and was kind of in shock and awe, going, okay, but yeah, I mean,
Well, it was interesting to see the launcher, brand new launcher in there for 2 million instead of 3 million. Yeah, you can only get one of. Maybe they're in there for every week. You know, we bitched about having to get 12 million points this time, so maybe this is that. I'm interested to see it for 2 million instead of the 3 million, but I'm kind of bothered by the radioactive and scope and the plate being 2 million. Did we just see a price increase on the FM from 1.1 million to 2 million?
I can't remember the MC plates. I can't remember anymore how many points they were.
I mean, everything else has been 1.1 million. I mean, when I came back, it was like that. But when I left, it was like 600, 700,000.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, did we just see an inflation in the FM?
Well, with the enlargement of the target point payout, I can see where that's viable.
But it doubled. I mean, it went from 1.1 million to 2 million. Well, I'm just saying the question, you know. I mean, is this what they said they wouldn't do? And it's just,
it's still geared for the higher players.
But, I mean,
in the end, the amount of coins, the amount of points that you need in the end seems to be going up every week.
Yeah,
not so much the what the individual prizes are worth, but it's the overall points that you need to collect everything.
Exactly. Yeah, a month ago you could get everything for 3 million points. Now it takes like 6.5 million.
Yeah.
8 million, something like that.
Yeah.
And
have you got the new launcher in, Ross?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Have you got the new launcher in? Have you tried it? Have you seen it in action? Is it any good?
I have not. I just figured, in all honesty, to me, the base hitting's kind of dead. I don't, but I will. I'll try it out for fun. I mean, but I don't think it's needed almost.
I didn't see. I have it in, and I've got hit since then, and I didn't think it was very impressive.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know because sometimes, we'll find out that some of these weapons are, completely outstanding and a must-have, and you've got to get it in, and you've got to get it in now, and then, other ones are
Well,
not
I
quite
mean,
so impressive. So.
Another question on that: how do you think that would be hitting a sloth? Say, if you put priority targeting on that specific launcher, how do you think that would act?
Anything that's got that kind of range is going to eat a sloth up. You got to get it in the right place.
Just another
and
thought.
get it bombed down.
Yeah, just another thought on the weapon.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got a huge donut hole though. It's 125 or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, but with sloths aren't going to get inside the donut hole, so you don't have to worry about that.
But I'm just saying the donut hole is quite big. It's even, I think it's bigger than the Axiom, isn't it?
It is. It's a 125 on that one, ain't it? Everything else is like 110. The norm has been 110, 287. This one is actually 125, 287. So it does have a little bit bigger donut hole than the rest.
Since we're talking about turrets, and we didn't have a chance to do a show Thursday because I was sick, how about the other turrets like the Axiom and the UAV turrets? What are you guys thinking about them?
Whoopee! I think that UAV one is fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about it damage wise or anything. It's like to a witch doctor or anything. It seems to like blow kisses at as it circles. But if it gets a relay shot out to a sloth, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
And it's fun because it could be just on a wrong entry, a wrong point of entry on a base with a sloth fleet, and that turret gets to fire, and there goes the sloths, and so
I got a question on that. Just your opinion though. Everybody's running the chaos mortars on their sloths at the moment, right now for base hitting. What if they use their regular mortars that give the concussive deflection? This is just a curious question of mine to you.
It would work.
It would work.
It would give that type of deflection. But you're not going to put that many of that. That's at, what is it, L87?
Are they that ineffective compared to the chaoses? I'm just asking.
Well, I don't know if you're using chaos just base hitting. You're not maybe prepping like a fleet out, but as far as overall splash, I think you would go with Pandemonium still.
Okay, I've been hit a few times with the sloth fleet backup, and it's always they all appear to be the chaos mortars to me. So I was just curious about that. As far as that drone was concerned, jumping out there.
Well, you can't say base hitting's out because I watched 2 major players hit today, and the hitter probably didn't take 15% on his whole fleet. It was 2 witch doctors and 3 sloths going into a pretty good base.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I guess I've been hit, but my fleet won't make bases as far as I know. So in my math, it's not Common Core math. So I can figure deflection, and I need more armor.
The correct armor, in other words.
Right.
To make other ships viable and stuff.
Right. And because so I could just get the circus ship in farther, because that's what it is it's a collage of weapons and armor to get the highest deflection spotted for sloths. Well, it's still not high enough because it's just not. It's going to get smoked by the concussive. I'm still lacking that one armor.
I got to visit it. 4 sloths and a witch doctor, and he just sat there and looked at what was shooting at him and didn't really bother him. And after a while, the mortars just overwhelmed my countermeasures, and it just went downhill from there. And I think I ended up doing 60% damage to his witch, and that was it. And he rolled me. It was a really good hit. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure it's my guard fleet. It's not adequate, not up to the task. But again, I don't want to spend any tokens or time on it right now until until Kix has fixed that. What do they call it?
Do their
refactor.
Refactor, yeah.
Yeah.
When the hell is that ever going to happen?
I mean, yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, I want to get having a good concept back on my base since I'm fresh coming back. You know, I've got pretty much all the items for just being back a couple of months, you know. I mean, I've been working my ass off, but I just don't know what to freaking do with it, because what are y'all going to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I got a pretty good idea of what I want to do, but is it even going to be worth it depending on what they do?
I mean, they've had to have had about 120 hours of fucking meetings at this point. That's secret shit or get off the line.
He says, walking away.
Well, it's true. By now we could have an idea, or I mean, sorry, like an outlining in place, an idea. They could say, hey, you know.
Yeah, it would be good to have some sort of idea.
Yeah. I mean, they must have an idea by now. There must be some sort of an idea that they're thinking, oh yeah, we're going to do this. We had 5 ideas, we're going with idea number 3. Let's put that into, you know, into the refactor. So they can't just not know what they're still not know what they're doing. Surely not.
Well, I mean, even if you don't want to give us any kind of this is what we're doing, say, give us this is kind of what we're looking at, so you can get some feedback before you just do it. And then everybody's like, what in the fuck did you just do?
Yeah,
it's a good point.
With that, I'm not 100% sure, because I don't keep up with all that sort of stuff, and you know, you all know that. But the Kicks show, wasn't that on every Friday? Or was it always like bi-monthly?
It's been all over the place.
Okay, fair
They
enough.
missed a week one time. There's another week they had it on a different day. So, yeah, I don't know. I was sick.
I can't.
Did they not do one this week? I'm out of the loop with being sick.
I've not seen. So that's why I'm asking. You know, I thought it was a weekly type thing, you know. But like I said, I don't normally keep up. I get told, oh, look what they said, and then I'll go watch it. But no one said anything, so I looked and I couldn't see a link anywhere that there had been a Kicks show this week.
No, maybe they didn't really have much to talk about other than how many meetings they've been in, and we've already heard that spiel a bunch of times. So,
do you think it's because of the Discord channel that they're thinking that that's the way they're going to communicate now?
I hope not.
No, because they're not announcing upcoming things, but they did put up a nice upcoming event page, you know, on forums, so that it shows what's going on, what's coming up.
Okay.
But like Wrong Thinker and those guys, when they were doing their little chat, a lot of people really like that. They listen to that.
Yeah, just having a look at the forums now to see. So on the 21st, there'll be a BP live. So what are we now? The 16th. So that'll be next week. So looks like that's when the next one's going to be. So yeah, we've got some more TLCs coming up next Tuesday as well. So I hadn't noticed that.
Well, that's the one that was planned, wasn't it, for the alternate ship?
Yep.
Next week?
Yep.
Okay. There's 4. There's a base race campaign, Turrets of Terror, Double Trouble, and Scorpion Sting. So I guess the new ones out of that are the base race one and whatever Double Trouble is. Interesting.
Double Trouble is an old TLC, wasn't it? I don't remember.
I don't remember that one. Yeah.
That name sounds familiar.
I don't know if it's familiar, but Double Trouble would mean, I mean, I don't know, the two different ships.
Wasn't it a movie with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, Double Trouble?
Yeah, probably was.
You're showing your age now, Toxic.
I'm 21 and a half.
21 and a half.
Yeah.
Very good. So did anyone else have anything that they wanted to talk about or discuss?
Yeah, when you do the Titan Rising campaign, make sure that you have enough room to collect your 6-hour tokens. You can only have 18 of them. So don't do what I did the last one and throw them all in the water.
Oh, yeah, good job. Yeah,
I probably did that. So
I did.
Yeah, I didn't do it this time. I've made sure I spent them before I got them, did the next one. So
Okay,
just watch out for that. And
Dr. Death saying Double Trouble was an old one as well, but they may just be reusing it. Sorry, Toxic, you were going to say?
oh, it's been longer than 5 seconds. I've forgotten.
Oh, you're pretty old thing.
I was more
Good train of thought for a 21-and-a-half-year-old man.
I was more interested in this comment about one of the insiders letting something slip. You know, it's kind of funny how some people can let anything slip and not be in breach of their NDA, and then other people sneeze wrong and they're fucking all up their ass. Just saying.
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of hearsay at the moment, though, isn't it? So. Well, there you go. Double Trouble was for icebreakers. So what's that? Using icebreakers and fangs. August 2018. Oh, okay. So what? That can't be right.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm just having a look at this now. You talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, well, I got a question like the TLCs we have now. We've got Hunter Gamers 3. And I'm sure that I've heard people saying that there are skirmish tokens in that.
There's skirmish. That one's for the hunters, ain't it? There's skirmish chests, but it's not going to have skirmish tokens in the chest. It's going to have like a hunter. It's going to be a specific ship token if it has it in there.
Yeah, I thought that it was said that there was skirmish tokens in there in one of the chests.
There was in the other campaign. You could get 3 skirmish tokens.
Yeah, they give you 3 skirmish tokens.
The master run through of the
Hidden Depths.
Hidden Depths.
Yeah, has three generic skirmish tokens in it.
Yeah, they say skirmish chest in the hunter games, but if you read on it, it says hunter mark tokens. You know, they're ship specific, not skirmish.
Yeah, no.
When that first ran,
wasn't it?
Yeah, when it first ran,
you got skirmish tokens.
But then they changed that quick and in a hurry.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I must have, assumed the wrong thing there. My bad.
I think what it was is the first time it ran, we didn't have the Apex Hunter yet, and that's why we got the skirmish tokens. But once it ran the second time, we had the Apex Hunter, so that's why they started giving us the tokens for that instead.
It was a good point to bring up because I bet I've been asked 10 times on, well, I'm supposed to get skirmish tokens. No, if you put your mouse over the chest, you'll see what it gives you, and it's MK1 tokens or 100 tokens. So
yeah, I must have not paid attention properly when I was listening.
And the other Hidden Depths one is the one that you could get in price pack for. You could get 3 one-day skirmish tokens.
And the final pack, you can get those 3 one-day tokens. Other than that, you get a bunch of Fangtooth tokens. I mean, that's almost like a Skyfire TLC.
It is, yeah.
But I talked to somebody the other day. They don't even have fangs built, so good one for them.
Well, yeah. This will get you somewhere, that's for sure.
It's only been out a year.
I'm pretty sure at this point I could build 2 more Fangtooth leads with all the
And they got the VXP tokens in there too. Collect them all, spend them wisely,
60.
count them up.
Yes, that is a good one, because that one you do have to watch how many you're getting and use them as you build them if you are doing it that way.
Always check how many you can hold.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of got messed around on the Matadors with the VXP because you was only able to hold so many of ones, and I threw like half of one of those TLCs away. I threw away like half of my VXP tokens that would have ranked the last ship. You know, thank God they come out with the TLC the next week and they had them in there again, and I was like, paid attention. Dump half of my damn tokens.
Yeah.
For VXP.
So speaking of TLCs, I guess the TLC for whichever hole we did get is not next week, but it'll probably be the week after that.
So no, it's next week.
No, it's supposed to be next week.
Okay.
Would you think that we're going to get another ranking weekend somewhere?
I would think so, because they did it before in the past.
Right.
And they gave us the second ship like this, and that's the weekend that they gave us that second VXP weekend. You know, they like ran it again because they gave us the other hull.
All right, well, here, let me ask you this. Based on what we've seen in the VXP targets, does anybody want to change what they went with at first?
Hell yeah.
Yes. Definitely. I was thinking, though, that they may not do another like ranking thing. It could just be, you know, the way they've done the tokens. So they've done it before, where you've got, you know, 30,000 BXP or something. So
yeah,
it just depends how the TLC's done and how they do the tokens. So it could be build tokens and BXP tokens.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. I wouldn't mind the second VXP weekend kind of maybe finish up a 5th ship or something people didn't get done or so, you know.
For the guys who said yes, they want to change. What did that make you want to change to, and why?
Well,
you can.
For me, as
You
far as it made me the shielded circuitry on my hull. Yeah,
no, I'm talking change your choice of hulls entirely.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not.
I was asking the 2 people who said yes, they do want to. What they're changing from and to, and why they want to do that.
Well, there's only one choice.
I answered that I would change, and the reason is because I can get it ranked faster, and it seemed to have more or better attributes towards the targets.
And you would be changing from what to what?
Razors to bats.
Okay. RB?
Yeah, same, razors to bats. And probably, I don't know, I think I'm more, so with the Manticores, you know, I did the hard path of choosing missiles from the start, and it's just the way I prefer to drive and the way I prefer to attack the targets, and I really think I'm going to be better off using the bat.
So and I don't know if it's going to be better to have the bats, but I'm going to definitely really consider a mixed fleet. That's my thoughts now.
I don't know how well.
Same here. I'm thinking of definitely getting it, but if you can't rank it, or at least get a little bit of rank on it, then it's not going to be much good for the very first raid. It'd be a wait and see. Then I wouldn't even start building it until after that raid to see how the razors and how the bats have gone in that raid.
Just one little note that I'll tell you is I have 2 of my razors that have the explosive resistors, and one of them has hydraulic resistors. The explosive resistors were holding up much better than the hydraulic resistor.
Was that in? Did you try that in different targets, or is that just one target?
I hit the URFs, and it was definitely noticeable in them, and it was slightly noticeable in the 100s.
Interesting. Because I found the hundreds really concussive heavy and the 50s really explosive heavy. So yeah, I don't know. It's confusing as always.
Yeah.
Dr. Death is saying that mixed won't work because Kicks confirmed that the auras won't stack. And I don't know how you'd be able to make them work anyway, because they're two completely different style ships.
The Razortail has the lower explosive defense on it to start with.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if you put the explosive one on there that it would do better. As opposed, if you did it, the concussive one on there, the explosive would stay lower and the concussive would just get higher. Right?
Yep.
Were you running Gales on that one too? Just
me,
curious.
yeah.
No, the one that he said that the resistors were, he's seen a significant difference.
All right, sorry.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Were you running Gales on that?
Yeah, I have equal amount of Gales on all of them.
Okay. Well, I was just saying that, you know, the explosive that on that ship, the Razor, it has the lower explosive to start with. So it would make sense that you would do better with the explosive resistor over the hydraulic resistor.
I was kind of glad to see we were able to get 2 more explosive resistors this week in the FM because of that.
Yeah. 2 a week within, 4-ship fleet. I guess within the 3 weeks, you should be able to get enough for the fleet if you did them last week or whatever. They've been in there longer than just this week, right?
Yeah. Second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could have got 2 last week, 2 this week for a fleet. I'm just saying.
It gives me, I've got a total of 4.
So that's good that they put them in there for 2 instead of just the single ones like they were.
They were not available in the raid. So
yeah.
Interesting though how theirs are 1.1 million and all the other ones are 700K.
Yeah.
But there's no point creep here. Move on. Nothing to see.
That's right.
But I do know one thing. Sun is setting and it's bass time. So I got to jump off myself and I got to go fish.
But you'll get all wet if you jump off the dock.
But I thank you and thanks everybody for in chat that is out there too. But I am off to try to catch fish.
All right. Good luck and don't fall.
All right.
See you, Ross. Have a good one.
Very good. So it's fishing time. So has anyone else got anything really exciting to talk about? Anything you want to bring up? Or shall we just call it?
It's up to you. You're in charge. I'm just here.
Whoa.
I'm not in charge. You've got your finger on the button.
Still need to tell me when to push it.
All right. Well, I guess on that point, if no one's got anything else or there's nothing else to really discuss, I guess we'll call it there. As always. Is there anything
in the comms in there? I haven't looked yet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they're just saying it is a special point. If you want to take the least amount of damage, it's going to take all 5-ship fleet.
Yeah.
Well, it's been that way ever since they started introducing auras onto the hull, so, So
leaving room for a flagship might be, it just depends on how you want to play it. You want to wait for it or you want to get some better damage in this first raid,
Well, it's a matter of how fast you feel you can crank it out, too, and how many tokens you have available to you and whatnot.
Yeah, but at 12 days a ship in my case, with their reductions that they gave us, thank you again. But I think things could be possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. With the amount of tokens that is available and whatnot, what have you got built already and whatnot? Would you rather build one or two ships fully armored, fully everything, or would you build them 5 partially built? Couple of guns missing, armor's missing, maybe a special or 2 missing. What's the thought on that?
Get whatever you can done.
Yeah, I think you better go full bore, whatever if you can get 3 of them fully done, as opposed to 4 of them partially done. I think you're going to be ahead of the game. Even when I had 3 mana cores the very first week of that style raid, I did pretty good
So
with 3.
finish them off. Finish them off. 1.
Yeah.
Finish it off. 2. Finish it off. 3. Don't go and put 2 weapons on that one, then 2 weapons on that one, then 2 weapons on that one. Then we'll do a special on this one, and then do a special on that one. Don't do it that way. That's what he's saying. Finish it off.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's what I'm asking. What the consensus is, partially or fully.
That's just my thoughts. I think that, like I said, I did pretty well the first time we had the Mana Core raid with 3 fully built ships, armored and all. And I might have had to use a few tokens to switch a couple things on them. But, the whole Mana Core raid, I thought was feasible. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't so expensive that you couldn't do it.
And I know Dr. Death in chat saying just build your 5th one blank with an engine and park it in the corner. But that's not going to help when it comes to stacking your auras for like popping up the Reapers, for example, because that thing only has a range of 200. So if you're parked up there in the corner and you're like, halfway across the map from it, that's not going to help you pop Reapers at all.
Yeah.
So you'll get your defensive buffs, but as far as having that 5th aura to help pop them up quicker, that's not going to help you.
There again, it may be a situation where you can run one out front, like we did the Mana Cores, and if you had one that was partially built, you could let it lag to the back and get that aura. But I don't know. You just got to wait till it plays out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Would you run one fully countermeasure?
Yeah.
And is there a flagship coming along for it? That's another thing we don't know.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there'll be a flagship, but
Yeah, I
otherwise
think so,
it would be like the first hull minus Protos. This would be the only hull in like the past 4 years we haven't had a flagship for it.
Yeah, but for me, my one I'm using a little bit more countermeasures on is my sonar detection one. It is a little overweight of the rest of them because of the sonar sonic targeting for. So I had to just drop the damage a little bit and put extra countermeasure on. So it's kind of like my countermeasure heavy one.
So nobody's running just a pure countermeasure lead
No.
ship at the minute.
Not me, because I'm running the countermeasure loader across the board for the reload for the Gatling gun. So if it's going to be there, I might as well have the explosive deflection or defense and the extra keeping shit off my head,
Yeah, Dr. Death says that they've already mentioned that they're going to get both flags next raid. So whether they will or not, I don't know. But if they've mentioned it, he's seen it, go that way.
Well, I mean, that's the way it has been every single raid.
Yeah. I'd expect that to be the case. So.
Yeah, not really breaking news there.
Cool.
But if it's there for the extra defense and stuff, I mean, of course it'd have to be ranked, but a hull is what, 3 days?
No, it won't have to be ranked if it's a lead. As long as you got the.
No, I'm not talking about the flag. I'm talking about if you built a 5th ship for holding spot until you got the flag. I mean, an engine and just a couple of parts on it. It's just not like it's got to be fully kitted out. It's just got to run with them. Say the razor tails.
I would say your most important things, if you want to run a 5th one and keep it with the rest of them to have the auras, the most important things to put it on is all your defensive shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about all the questions I can think of in a hurry.
I'm good.
And I mean, a lot of this stuff too, as far as whether we want to run a decoy ship or not, it's going to be hard to tell until we see the actual targets. Like I said, this one seems to be more like it's just a hybrid that they threw everything in there, and so we still haven't actually seen the real target yet, to the best of my knowledge.
Now, isn't the 100 supposed to be similar to the new targets?
It's supposed to be similar, but like I said, it's a hybrid thing because they have the Reapers in there and the things that shoot the torpedoes. And from my understanding, from what I read on in places and what they talked about, is those things aren't supposed to have both things in a single target during the raid.
I don't know. I didn't last long enough in either one of them to tell you what's in the Thunder.
They're powerful.
I personally haven't seen the Torps yet, but there are some other people that said they saw them. I know the Reapers are in there because I saw those.
Yeah, they took the Torps out because people were getting them. That's how they were doing the VXP for free with Batwings.
With the razors. Or I mean the bat tails, yeah.
They just took them out instead of not making worth any VXP. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that was the reason why there were no. Oh no, you were talking URF. Sorry, my bad. Forget it. Very good. All right. So it sounds like there's silence again. So I guess we'll call it there. So as always, share this scintillating conversation in your groups and like and subscribe. I think that's the normal things you say, isn't it, Damnation? Is there anything else I've missed?
I think just put us on the break. Tell your friends to come to the page. I think.
Wasn't that kind of what I just said?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Well, I think that's what I said. So I'll say it again because I think we've got it clear anyway. But anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for everybody in chat. It's always good. If you've got any opinions, certainly come and join us. You know, it's always better when there's lots of people and we have a discussion and people have their different points of view and we can talk about it, and it's always good. So on that note, I'll let you push the button, Mike. So have fun, everyone.
Button pusher, Mike. Do your job.
Later.
Say bye, everybody, before I push the button.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Laters.